May 11th to order. Can we have roll call, please? Here.
Hey, Ann, we can't hear you.
Yep, we can't hear Ann.
We still can't hear you.
Brian, if you turn your computer to face Ann, you'll hit the mic.
Shannon now?
I'm here.
Rob with you?
I'm here.
Here.
All right, can we read the minutes from April 13th, 2020?
April 15th, 2020 minutes from Valencia Borough Council. Attendance: President Brian Himmelstein, Vice President Shannon McKenna, Rob Vicky, and Mayor Crystal Fultz. Minutes were read. Crystal made motion to accept minutes. Rob seconded, motion carried. Financial: Shannon made motion to accept treasury report. Rob seconded, motion carried. Paying bills: Shannon made motion to pay bills. Crystal seconded, motion carried. Minutes were read from emergency meeting. Shannon made motion to accept minutes with revision. Rob seconded, motion carried. Visitors: Corey Burke, Billy Himmelstein, Ron Olson. Old business, emergency declaration. Shannon made motion to renew the emergency declaration resolution. Rob seconded, motion carried. Zoning, the Planning Commission still has some issues. April 7th, 2020, the application is complete per crest. March 23rd, 2020, evacuation plan has been received from St. Barnabas. Plans for 3 culverts have been received. Tori noted that the middle culvert pipe is half blocked and asked, how does it get cleaned? Brian reviewed the plans. He said that it looks like the plan is to replace with 18-inch pipe. Sean Gallagher noted that the work must be completed within 45 days after the Planning Commission approves. Otherwise, an extension is needed from the developer. DCED financial planning tabled. Webb Alley work has been half completed. Okay to continue for Sean as long as employees are safe and practicing social distance. Breakneck Creek flooding. Water coming from St. Barnabas is causing erosion in the ball field. The ball field is owned by St. Barnabas, but the borough maintains it. Trees have fallen into the creek above the 3 Degree Road Bridge. St. Barnabas should be notified about the obstruction. Also, the detention pond is not functioning. A letter was sent to St. Barnabas requesting they inspect and report back to the borough. It was recommended a second letter be sent asking for a status report. Land below the ball field, which is owned by Ronick. Council recommends getting in touch with Ronick to clean pipes and remove debris from the stream. DEP should be contacted for obstruction of streams. Sean recommends correcting the problem first, then get determination as to who is responsible. Brian to send a copy of the letter from December. Brian to send Sean a copy of the letter from December 13th. MS4, Valencia Borough is in agreement with Adams Township on MS4. Grants are available for restorations. $300,000 grant application has been submitted by Adams Township. Ron Olson suggested 5% of the grant be for Valencia Borough. Spring maintenance walkthrough has been postponed. Park and maintenance on hold. Brian fixed the basketball hoop. There's no new business. Crystal made motion to adjourn. Shannon seconded, motion carried.
I think I have a couple of revisions. Trees have fallen in the creek below 3 Degree Bridge. And Sean suggested one of the options was to correct the problems and then determine who's responsible, but that's not the way it's worded right now. Sounds like that's how Sean wanted us to proceed, but that's not. I think Sean gave option of correcting the problem first and then determining who's responsible.
Yeah, that's correct. That was for the emergency. If it was an emergency, you could fix it and then figure out later on who to bill.
Okay. If it was an emergency. Does anybody else have questions or comments on the minutes?
No.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes with revisions?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with revisions discussed.
I'll second the motion.
that.
Thank you. Yeah. So heading over to financials, I did email them out to everybody. I don't know if you had a chance to look at them. Currently, right now in the general fund, we have $109,973.18. The CDs have been updated to show that there is now $63,687.32. So we have a total cash and CDs of $173,660.50. April's total income was $38,049.50. And April's expenses were $2,531.76. We currently have in liquid fuels, we received our 2020 disbursement. We now have $35,269.08 in liquid fuels. Currently showing in escrow, we have a balance of $1,714.40. Okay, so there is a check for $229.50 to Shoop, which will bring the balance of escrow to $1,400 and $1,484.90. May's income, we are showing St. Barnabas in lieu of tax payment, $19,825.90. So that brings our May income to $20,224.90. Total income to date is $34,531.90. 406.34. We have expenses for advertising, borough electric, gas, water, Mesa Engineering, Adams Township Police Department, secretary salary, and solicitor costs for a total of $3,518.79. In total expenses to date, $32,580.10. Any questions or comments on financials?
No.
Brian, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is there a reason, so we are currently at our minimum at a flat level with St. Barnabas and they're at Lou, correct?
Yes, we are at 60%.
Okay, and we're staying flat at 60%. We were at 60% last year also, correct?
Correct.
All right, so can you tell me why St. Barnabas payment is $660.88 less than it was last year?
No, I cannot. I have reached out to the county assessment office. They are currently reviewing the agreement and are to give us a corrected amount of what St. Barnabas should be paying.
Okay,
And-
because I knew that number was lower than what we got last year, and I pulled out my records from 2019, my financial records, and based off of a quick calculation, that's $660 less than what they paid us last year. And if they're at their bottom number, they shouldn't be paying us less.
That is correct. And I did reach out to the county, and since there's a new assessment officer up there now, so I got to talk with her, and they're currently reviewing that.
Okay, as long as it's being addressed.
And it should be more than it was last year because building 700 would have came on the tax roll for 2020. Any other questions?
Colt says no other questions.
Okay, thank you, Cole. Can I have a motion to accept the financials?
I make a motion to accept the financials.
Rob,
Second.
Shannon, second.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to pay bills?
I'll make a motion to pay bills.
I second the motion. This is Rob.
Crystal, question for you.
Sure.
Traditionally, we pay the fire department once we receive the St. Barnabas in lieu of tax payments.
Okay.
What is the cutoff for that? Is it the end of June?
I
that?
believe so, yes.
Okay, so next month we will pay the Adams area fire district payments then.
Okay. And I can reach out to Chief and let him know that.
Thank you. I think we have some visitors on the line. Stephen Victor.
Yes. You're looking
We have
It's okay.
Julie. We have Julie. All right, Stephen, we'll get to you in a couple minutes here.
No problem.
Stephen Victor's, yeah. Currently, we need to renew the emergency declaration tonight, May 11th. Can I have a motion to renew the emergency declaration?
I make a motion to renew the emergency declaration for another week.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We will be renewing the declaration on 5/18 and 5/25 and 6/1. Okay, I go to old business, zoning, we need an update from the planning commission, please.
Julie, would you like to start?
Okay. At the planning commission meeting on Thursday, we had some more discussion. We had just that day received a letter from the engineer. His review letter states that the following comments should be considered. The NPDES permit needs to be secured from the Butler County Conservation District prior to the initiation of any earthwork, and the erosion and sedimentation control plans must be submitted to the borough. PA DOT highway occupancy permits must be obtained for the roadway and storm sewer work along 3 Degree Road, and components 3 and 4 and related documents for a PA DEP sewage facilities planning module must be submitted to the borough. Those being the most recent comments that we have from the engineer. And then we also discussed how the retaining walls were being eliminated from the side of the walking trail. And we also discussed the remaining concerns we had for some of the stormwater. So based on that, we felt that we could recommend that our recommendation can be for approval of the final plan, including those comments from Scott Shoup. And then, of course, we do not yet have the letter because this was just on Thursday of recommendation. And any other concerns that council may have, that ball is in your court. Anything else that I forgot, Lori?
No, I don't think so. Council does have the opportunity either to approve the final PRD either tonight or at the next meeting, as St. Barnabas and Steve Victor have graciously extended us an extension on that until June 30th. So if you have any other questions or feel like there's some more information that we need before final decision is made, we are happy to give that information to you or find that information for you.
So currently, the final plans we have don't necessarily outline the final stormwater.
The plans that, is it okay for me to come in?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stephen.
The plans that we presented to the planning commission had been recommended by Shoup. But during the course of the meeting, a discussion was had that would it be possible to replace the 3 manholes that are going to be installed along 3 Degree Road and to replace those with storm inlets instead. And we agreed to do so, but we have obviously not made or had the time to make any plan changes. So our hope would be that you would proceed to recommend approval, or not recommend, to go ahead and grant approval, contingent upon just the final engineering of converting the 3 manholes to 3 storm inlets. And if you have specific questions about it, I'm sure we could look at it directly on this drawing right here. And I could show you exactly where the request has been made by the borough for that.
For the sake of everyone else on council, can you go ahead and run through that?
There are 2 drawings that cover the entire site. We're looking at the northern half, and then in a second, Sean will probably bring in the southerly half one. On the northerly half one, there is a existing storm sewer that runs from the easterly side and outfalls onto the westerly side of it and runs through our property. What we're proposing to do is to intercept that water with a manhole and then pipe that into our storm piping system. So it'll go into our system. What we're proposing, or what we've been requested to do and that we've agreed to do, is instead of a manhole where the arrow is, that we would come closer to the roadway and install a catch basin there so that we would be able to pick up any runoff that runs along the curb line as well. So it doesn't change any of the hydraulics. It just means that instead of a manhole, which would not gather any surface water, having an inlet there would allow the ability to have surface water collection. If we could then go to the next sheet, I'll show you the other 2. There we go. There are 2 locations here at where DD4 is, and further to the left called DD3. In both of those conditions, we would replace the manholes, which are labeled DD3 and DD4, and replace those with inlets instead, so that again we can pick up any water running along the edge of the roadway. In this particular case, we're going to gather the water from DD3 and DD4, and we would then pipe it through our site down to the wetlands just to the top of the sheet. So if we can scroll upward, there you go. The green dashed line identifies the area of wetlands. And so what we're doing there is piping the off-site runoff water from 3 Degree Road and piping it down to the wetlands is where it gets to today after running through our property. But here we'll pipe it through there so that it doesn't flow on to the land development side of the property. Anybody have any questions with that?
The only thing I noticed, and I could not find it in the drawing, Stephen, was that a detail of the size and location of riprap at that outlet.
Sure. I didn't go looking for it myself. If it doesn't show up on these, it certainly would be, it would show up on the ENS control plans, the NPDES drawings. But let's see if we can find a detail. There we go, standard detail there. Next sheet. Back up one. No, the other, yeah, right there. At the top, oh, that's the sanitary manhole. Oh, that's the connection for sanitary. I'm sorry, I'm looking for a head wall connection. Don't see it there. Next sheet. I don't see it there either. Don't see it there. That'd be the end of the construction details for there.
Okay,
We can certainly get you that. It's a requirement that we have calculations to show the length of the the riprap area at all of the head walls. It's probably on the ENS drawings.
okay. Well, council, how do you feel about approving the final plan?
Can you back up one sheet? I'm sorry, back up one sheet. The drawing that we were just,
Sorry, I was pulling up the post-construction stormwater management plan.
yeah. In the upper right corner, is that the detail there? Yeah. Section. So there's your, in the chart, it would tell you based on which end EW is end wall. So there's A, A1, A2, and B, and it gives you the riprap sizes and the dimension AL. So it varies from 10 feet to 12 to 14 feet in length, with the ATW dimension being the width as it flares out. And it again varies from 14 to 20 feet. So that's the specific details that I was looking for that would tell you the riprap size, Brian.
Okay.
Okay.
Then,
we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, but at this point, the engineer has recommended approval. The planning commission, we worked with them over 3 meetings, made changes to the plan, and then just at the last one, we were asked to add the inlets, and we're happy to do so along 3 Degree Road. Would love to just see this wrapped up so that we could just get your approval on it. Again, subject to changing those 3 manholes to 3 inlets.
Hey, Brian, what riprap size are you looking for?
I was just looking for any detail because it wasn't on that construction drawing until he showed us that detail. I was just wanting to make sure it's a proper size and length.
Yeah. The County Conservation District is the one who reviews the ENS drawings through the NPDES process, and they're the ones who set up the standards for the riprap size and the size of the area for the riprap apron. So if it's improper size, the DEP will, not the DEP, the Butler County Conservation District will pick that up.
Yeah, my only concern, Stephen, and I voiced that on Thursday, is the speed and velocity of which that's going to reach the wetlands, that we have, an adequate size or over-engineered size of riprap and length to make sure we slow that down because of the amount of flooding that we experienced all the way down that watershed into Breckneck and at the park.
Well, I think that those seem to be 2 different points. The first is you size the riprap to take the energy out of the discharge that's taking place. And what you're looking at is the Q factor, the CFS, cubic, in the middle of the chart there, stands for cubic feet per second. So it shows the velocity with which it's coming out. And then the subsequent one, the V, is the feet per second, again, velocity. So it's talking about those, and that is what is used to determine the size and the area of the riprap. Whether there is downstream flooding or not, it has nothing to do with the discharge at that point. It has to do with the extent to which we are detaining water. That's a volume problem of, is the volume of water causing your downstream flooding? And if you look at our detention facility and the calculations that your engineer has reviewed, and then the county will be reviewing, County Conservation District will be reviewing, so far they've all determined that we have adequately detained the differential between the pre-construction versus the post-construction. So we are not adding to or exasperating an existing flooding condition that you have downstream.
Brian,
Yes.
any questions, like if there are specific questions that you would like Scott Shoup to address again, we can do that, because this seems like a very specific question. And so, I feel that it's certainly pertinent to address Scott Shoup with this again if we feel we need to.
I agree. I think I understand and I appreciate, St. Barnabas willing to extend us this time. I really think, given the optics of what we're dealing with now with all this flooding and the engineering that's been involved, it would not hurt to just take a second look. Our whole last meeting was spent talking about flooding in our area. And with 75% of the development happening in our area or more that is occurring with St. Barnabas, it behooves us to make sure that we have looked at this issue that's being experienced. And so I would think we need to take this week to reach out to Scott Shoup and double check that we've done everything that we can before we give our final blessing next month.
Well, Scott Shoup has already gone through the recalculations of 3 Degree Road water entering. There's always a percentage of water that we're not going to be able to collect. And I think right now that's something that we're experiencing in that watershed. And even after post-development, you don't collect 100% of runoff. So are we going to lessen the volume with this development, or are we going to increase it? Or is it going to stay where it's at? And I don't think that even through all the calculations that you're going to be able to arrive at that and say 100% equivocally that we are going to reduce the volume that runs down through that watershed.
I mean, Brian, you obviously know this stuff way better than any one of us, and you've met with the engineers on the current issues that we're facing. So if you're comfortable with the plan, then I'm all for it. But if you have any hesitations, now's the time to figure that out.
Well, I think the calculations are engineered properly. But again, also, we need some more cooperation with St. Barnabas to clean out some of the sediment that is exited below that outlet at the park, and so on, so that every time it rains, it doesn't run out onto the field. but so far I haven't been able to get any more information on that from St. Barnabas or from Hampton.
But is that a separate issue? I mean, that's like more of a clean out issue with the current, and that's
that is
not
a separate
necessarily.
that is a separate issue from this PRD. Yes.
Okay, I mean, okay, in all fairness, I want to make sure we keep them separate, but I appreciate that we need cooperation on this, what we're currently experiencing outside of the PRD approval process. I mean, I come back to what I said before. If you're okay with approving this, then tonight, I'm okay with approving it.
And we are approving with conditions, and also, you know, third-party permits still have to be obtained. This approval does not grant them, you know, time to, you know, ability to start excavating and working the site. So there is still some, you know, some information that needs to be gathered and supported. But I think we could grant final approval tonight with those conditions. I've also been in contact with PennDOT just to make sure that the borough is doing their due diligence with the stormwater runoff of 3 Degree Road, because ultimately that stormwater becomes our responsibility. It does not belong to PennDOT. So everybody at PennDOT is aware of that, and you know, they will keep us apprised of the situation. Stephen, thank you for the culverts, the stormwater inlets being added. I think it would behoove us also to recommend that any of the brick inlet structures that are being involved in the construction, that they be replaced with concrete.
That was brought up at the Planning Commission meeting. Following the meeting, I reached out to Hampton Tech and asked for their engineering opinion as to the stability of any of the two inlets that you're referring to on the opposite side of the road, and told them that if it's, you know, in poor condition or difficult with which to add new pipes to, we should replace those. But if you're more comfortable making that a specific condition, let's just do that tonight, that if there are brick inlets on the opposite side of the road to which we'll be making two pipe connections, let's modernize those and bring those up to borough specification inlets. Just make that a condition.
Okay. I agree with that, and I thank you for that, Stephen. I just think it really behooves us to you know, step up the mark here, and for any improvements made on that roadway, we certainly don't want to be doing any work into the trail easement or anything like that at a future date where we would disrupt all that work that has been you know, put forth toward that.
Well, I think your point that you brought up in raising this issue on the opposite side of the street, it makes sense really from an engineering point of view. If we're going to go in and it's an existing brick inlet and we're going to rip it apart anyway, trying to hook in a new pipe to it, it's maybe easier and more convenient for us just to replace the whole silly thing. So I'm happy to let's just go ahead and do that. Okay,
great. Well, I mean, I do feel comfortable with granting final approval. All I need is someone to lay out the conditions of that, Sean.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do so. So I have it as 6 conditions here. The first 3 are the 3 from the SHOOP letter, which is the NPDES permit, the I think it was Breakneck Water Authority, right?
No, the next one was the planning module. with
That's right. The
Breakneck and
sewage.
Borough.
That's right. The sewage facilities planning module being completed, and the third one was the highway occupancy permit. The condition number 4 would be St. Barnabas is to execute a developer's agreement with the borough in a form approved by the solicitor, which I have with my secretary on the typing pile. So I should have that out to everybody for review tomorrow. And condition number 5 would be St. Barnabas to replace the manholes on their construction drawings with stormwater inlets. And condition number 6 would be to rebuild any brick inlets with concrete structure. Am I missing anything?
The 3 and 4 planning module, that's on the NPDS permit, correct?
No, there's those are 3 separate permits. The NPS, the planning module, and the HOP are 3 separate permits.
Yeah, the planning modules for the sewer system.
Okay.
And it's my understanding, and I don't know if it's on your agenda for later this evening, but I was told by the engineers that the planning module is sitting at the borough waiting for the borough council's approval and signature on it so we can go on to the next reviewing agency.
Yes, I am in receipt of the land use letter.
Okay.
But it's not the planning module that has the plot. It doesn't look like the planning module that we saw before.
I don't know the document that you have in front of you. I know that for the HOP, there is a land use document cross check sheet. That may be what you're looking at.
I'm reading through it here.
I did not prepare the planning module document. Hampton Tech did. So I apologize. I don't know specifically what they prepared or what it looks like, but I don't know.
This application is for the sewage facilities planning module.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Okay.
If you could, whatever's there for you, if that could be signed off on and forwarded on, that would be much appreciated.
Okay, we will do that.
Okay. Thank you.
So I would like to have a motion that we grant final approval for the St. Barnabas PRD meeting conditions outlined by Sean.
Mr. Victor, you're in agreement with those conditions on behalf of St. Barnabas?
Yes.
This is Shannon. I make a motion to approve the St. Barnabas PRD application based on the conditions outlined by Sean.
I second the motion. Rob?
Final PRD approval. And all of this has been recorded too, so if we need to, we can go back and collect it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Stephen. It's been a learning experience, and hopefully from here we can cooperate and group together and move on with this project.
Well, thank you very much. And I will pass on to St. Barnabas the need that they need to have further discussions with you regarding their existing detention facility and your concerns for flooding on the ballpark area. And although I'm not hired for that specific effort, but to the extent that I can intercede and help, I will continue to do so.
Well, I have received an updated letter from Hampton Technical regarding that, but not all of the issues that were proposed in the December 13th letter were completely addressed. So we're still in process of trying to get answers for those.
Well, I would suggest that if you've received something from Hampton, please just reply back to them and tell them what you're missing, and let's keep the pressure back on them. There didn't seem to be, in my experience working with St. Barnabas, any hesitancy not to make the system that's there operable. So push back to Hampton Tech and for the additional information you need.
All right, thank you, Stephen.
You bet. All right.
Thank you, Stephen.
I will sign off and thank you again. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Next item in old business, DCED financial planning. And I think this is still going to be tabled, or it's going to be eliminated at some point. I think we're falling so far behind on it that it's almost a do-over process. Is mainly getting somebody who's going to work with us to do it. Currently, right now, we're not in a position to address anything with that. Web Valley Drainage, Aikens are beginning to bring in materials and equipment to finish the stormwater project. They're just trying to finish up some other odds and ends they have, but the weather's not been too cooperative. So expect to see some work going on and within the next week and a half or so. MS4 and grant applications, there's nothing to report on those. Pretty much everything was outlined by Ron Olson at last month's meeting. We're just gonna keep that on old business until there's some kind of communication about that. I don't know where we stand with the 2019 audit. Last month you said that Ann said that Holsek Inspect or whatever, they weren't completing any audits until the so we just need to keep on communicating with them due to the coronavirus and the stay-at-home orders and all that stuff. So have to get that audit finished. A little update on the Breckneck Creek flooding. A week and a half ago, Phil from Olson and myself met with Rennick Bus Garage, and they are in agreement to address some of the issues on the stream that runs through their property. Again, we're just their plans are to remove that stream crossing that is collapsed and regrade the stream banks. And hopefully they're going to also go in and remove some of those tree obstructions that are slowing up the stream and backing water up on their property. So far, this has not been proposed to St. Barnabas yet, but we may want to include that in a letter to them also at some point to address their section of stream and their obstructions. So that finishes, well, another item on old business. I don't know, do we want to do anything with the newsletter? I'm thinking we should. Some of you probably have received your Bureau of Elections notice that the polling place has been moved to the Methodist Church Community Hall. After careful deliberation, the Presbyterian Church has decided not to open their facility for the June 2nd primary elections. Commissioner Geyer reached out to United Methodist Church, and Pastor Bob has agreed to allow us to use his hall for the June 2nd primary. We should do whatever we can to get that out to the public. Website, newsletter, and I'm sure everybody that's on the voters roll has received this letter. So I think that everybody should be informed.
I can go ahead and post it on the site.
Okay. Crystal, do you think there's anything else we should do?
I can put something out on social media to let residents know that that's been changed, and then put that out there again as we get closer to the voting date. And then I'm thinking that maybe we need to put together some sort of a sign or signage that that we could put right there at the entrance of the Presbyterian Church to let people know that voting's been moved down to the lower end of the hill to the Methodist Church.
Commissioner Geyer also, relayed to me that this is going to be done with the utmost concern for virus transmission and all of that. So there's going to be cleaning and preparation. Also, there's 5 people that are going to man the poll, and they're from the county. It's not going to be our residents manning the polls like we're accustomed to. So they're going to have their own judge of elections and the other help there to run the polls that day.
Brian, do you have the contact information for those people? Since Damien's the constable, he usually does, he does his rounds over there. And I just want to be able to get him in touch with whoever is going to be in charge so that he can make arrangements with them in regards to, being there and providing security coverage.
Okay, well, I guess that would go out to Butler County's Sherry Bauer. Is it Sherry Bauer?
Bureau of Elections.
Yeah, it was Sherry Brewer, but she just resigned at the end of last month, so I don't know who the director is over there right now. But it is the Bureau of Elections.
Yeah, that contact information is on the bottom of that letter from the county. If you have any questions.
Okay, it's hanging right on my fridge, so I can. Okay. Yep, the phone number's right there at the bottom, so I'll just give them a call tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you. I mean, does anybody feel that we should put out an electronic spring newsletter at this point?
That's hard.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
On one hand, I say yes. On the other hand, I say no.
Was that a no from you, Rob?
Yeah, for the most part. I just don't think that any information is going to be getting out there quick enough for the people for them to even look at the website.
We just have to get people really focused on you. If you need information, you need to go to the borough website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There's no way we can walk anyways.
Shannon, is it been being used? Have you noticed any uptick in views?
I've never looked at the statistics, but we have it all. We have it. It's all in Google Analytics, so we could just as easily look at it to know if people are using the site.
Okay. So I just
Don't have a counter
think
on it.
people are using it that much.
We could find. I can answer that question next meeting, but I'd have to get online and look at the analytics and tell whether or not where it's coming from.
Can you put a counter on there?
We don't need a counter if we have Google Analytics. That's better than a counter will ever be.
Well, it gives the people information that says, yeah, you know what? Look at all these people using it. That type of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a stats type person.
Well, I'm a functional guy. I just want to make sure it's out there for everybody to view if they need it.
I will definitely post the information at the top so that everybody has access to it.
Okay.
This phone number has been out there. You know, the information that now links to the page with all the other communities dial-in numbers. That's also that's been out there for a while too. So, but I will post the move of the polling site.
Okay. So let's not deal with the newsletter at this point. And I'll get you the information for the polling site. And also, I think you need to reach out to Planning Commission for minutes.
Tori has already sent them to me, so I will post them when I post the information for when I post the meeting minutes for this meeting, as well as the notice of polling location change. I will post all of the missing meeting minutes that Tori has already sent to me.
Okay. Sean, are we required to post the recordings or make the recordings available?
It's recommended that the recordings are available, at least for the duration of the emergency. I've made them available on YouTube with a link on our website. If you want to take that YouTube link and put them on your website, you're more than welcome to.
That might be helpful. Thank you. Because I haven't seen them yet.
Yep. If you go to our website, marinlaw.com, and click on RPM, the links to the YouTube are there. And I can email them around tomorrow as well.
All right. Thank you.
I'll post a link to what I can do is I can just post a link to the remote public meetings and the recordings there as well. So at least they're all in one place.
Okay, great. That finishes up old business. New business items. As you know, on April 29th, Butler County commissioners voted to lengthen the in-face property tax payments till November 30th. So the discount phase is finished, and they have lengthened the at face value for however long it is till November 30th. So with that, each municipality is to pass a resolution stating that they are in agreement with this. And then we are responsible for getting a copy of this resolution to the county and to the tax collector and the county solicitor. I'm going to read this resolution, and we're going to sign whatever we can, and I will leave it here in the borough building for everyone to come in and put their pen to it, and hopefully we can do that by the end of the week. And then I'll get the copies sent up to the county. So the resolution number 5-11-2020, Valencia Borough, Pennsylvania. Be it resolved that following the affirmative vote by the Board of Commissioners at regular scheduled meeting, is hereby authorized and directed that Valencia Borough, in keeping with the provisions and authority granted to it by Senate Bill 841, Act 15, 2020, as signed into law on April 20th of 2020, does hereby extend the period by which property taxes may be paid at face value through that paid at face through up to November 30th, 2020. As such, no penalties, fees, or interest shall be due if the tax is paid in full by November 30th, 2020. This resolution shall only be effective for the tax period of 2020 and will automatically null and void as of December 1st, 2020. This resolution shall have immediate effect from the date of April 29th, 2020. A true and correct copy of this resolution shall be delivered to the duly appointed or elected tax collector of all tax districts within Butler County. Further, a copy shall be delivered to the Butler County Solicitor as well. Can I have a motion to accept the resolution 5/11/2020?
I make a motion to
Are there any-
accept resolution.
First of all, are there any questions?
No.
Shannon, Crystal, any questions?
No.
None for me.
So can I have a motion to approve resolution 5/11/2020?
I make a motion to accept resolution 5/11/2020.
I second the motion to accept the resolution.
Okay, this resolution will be available at the Borough Building to sign and seal. So at your convenience, when you're able, please come down to the Borough Building and sign it, and I will check on it later in the week, and I'll get the copies off to the county. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. So, okay, that was this. I had a second thing on new business that I wrote in, and that was the change of polling places. So we already discussed that. I have not had time to go through correspondence. We have a real estate transfer. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the copy of the real estate bills. So currently, what's been collected at this count would have been $1,734.30. Oh, no, wait a second. Collection report. Billing. Bill period. I'm just trying to follow the numbers here. Net total collected, $9,025.06. So I don't know. Apparently, they've received a lot of taxes that discount. So looking at this, we're sitting in a pretty good position. It looks like over 90% of our property taxes have been paid. So that it doesn't leave us very much to collect the face value.
Well, that's good because Brian, I know me and you discussed when we attended that meeting with the commissioners the impact that that could possibly have on the borough financially. So if 90% have paid, that definitely puts us in a better position than we were thinking.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so I'll have to study this a little bit more, but it's looking like in our tax payments even up a little bit from what was budgeted. So, and that may be because of the recent sale of some properties. So, okay, good there. What does it say? This is another tax document, May 22nd, transfer data. This just looks like an abbreviated version of a tax duplicate from the county, which I requested. So I'm just looking for in lieu of payment numbers, and they're still not showing everything there. So I'll have to read over this a little bit more in length and see if there's any other information I can get from that as far as the in lieu of tax payment. And then there's some other reports of delinquent taxes being paid and so on. So that's all that's there. No, I don't think that's anything we need. It's that Gary Pico's number on it. Membership fulfillment. Borough News. And some other catalogs. Nope, that's it. I think we'll hold off on the flag until next year. Currently, whenever the Penn Power was doing the upgrade work on 3 Degree Road, I reached out to them about some of the streetlight issues and also mentioned that the flag light has been out for a period of years and asked if we can upgrade it. So they have removed it from the pole down there, and I'm not sure what their plans are to either repair the old one or upgrade to a newer light, but it is something that is being worked on. Yeah, if they upgrade it, I would hope that they would upgrade to LED. So
I think this is just a catalog for Parks and Rec. Yeah. Okay. That's all the correspondence we have. Any other questions, comments?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Our next meeting is June 8th. Juan,
Yes.
currently at this time, I'm thinking that the planning commission meeting will be remote for June.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what other municipalities are doing, but as we move from red to yellow and yellow to green, I'm not sure at what point council can vote or decide to meet in person with whatever social distancing or things that we would need. What's your take on that?
We're waiting for updated guidance from the Secretary of Health and the governor. Yellow phasing technically is allowing for groups of up to 25 with appropriate social distancing. The issue is, what are they calling appropriate social distancing? And we're not entirely sure what that is yet. So your thought is correct. We're starting to see some of our municipalities move to in-person meetings. Most of them are ending out the month of May with remote meetings and hoping to get updated guidance from the governor and the Secretary of Health by the end of the month. In terms of how that would impact you, we only need a week's lead time to get it into the newspaper, so council doesn't need to make a decision until a week before they would hold their actual meeting. So we have time to figure out what that's going to be.
Being that planning commission is before our regular stated meeting, do you think that's appropriate to go ahead and schedule that one for remote session and wait to make a determination on June 8th?
I have no issues with that. If you'd like to hold in abeyance, scheduling the planning commission meeting remotely until next week. I mean, we can just hold it till next week and then schedule it next week for the 4th. As long as you are in an emergency declaration, your ability to schedule meetings is broad.
Okay.
So I leave that up to council. If you'd like to schedule it this evening, I'm happy to do so.
Okay, I will hold off and give you that notice, at the end of May. Council members, I would like for you to think about it and consider what you're comfortable with. But I would certainly like to get back to meeting in session at face instead of remotely.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see, and this is just speculation at this point, is councils will start to meet in person, but not necessarily allow the public in, so that they can maintain social distancing while the commissioners and the council are all in the same room. So you'll still need a remote portion for that contingent. But like I said, we'll find out more as we move into yellow this Friday.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Of course, thank you very much. And as always, if council needs anything, we're more than happy to help.
Okay, Crystal made motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Rob seconded.
I think Shannon did.
I did. Yep.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And remember to come down and sign that resolution at your convenience. It'll be here on the table.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you, everybody else.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Yep. Good night to all of you. Stay healthy.